Somewhere in a box, in a closet, in a house you've never heard of, there's a photograph that would blow your mind. A moment nobody remembers, a face you'd recognize anywhere. That's how most of these photos survived. They weren't famous, they weren't in magazines, they were just forgotten. Until now. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, 1967. This is the moment they took London by storm, a revolutionary force of nature that left the city's rock royalty speechless. The perfect, explosive chemistry of three brilliant musicians about to conquer the world. The sweet sound of the 60s. But behind those golden harmonies was pure drama. Complex relationships and romantic entanglements within the band fueled their greatest songs. But the tangled interpersonal dynamics would soon tear the group apart for good. Queen's legendary guitarist Brian May. But he's not just a rock star. He's a doctor of astrophysics. He paused his studies to join Queen, then returned to school 30 years later to complete his PhD dissertation on interplanetary dust. Frank Zappa's wild 1970 lineup of the Mothers. He shocked everyone by hiring former pop stars Flo and Eddie from the Turtles. But their humor and powerhouse vocals were a perfect match for Zappa's bizarre, brilliant, and confrontational rock theater. Brian Wilson in 1965. He had just stopped touring with the Beach Boys to focus entirely on the studio. While he looked carefree, his mind was on fire, deep in the process of creating Pet Sounds, his ambitious answer to the Beatles' Rubber Soul. Cheap Trick in '77, a band struggling at home but massive in Japan. The next year, their legendary Live at Budokan album, intended only for Japan, became such a huge import hit that it forced an American release and made them superstars. Talk about a clash of titans. Initially, the Beatles weren't keen on meeting the young contender, then known as Cassius Clay, and he didn't hold back, teasing them for being soft compared to a fighter. Despite the reluctance, this photo op between the Fab Four and the future champ turned into one of the most defining images of the 60s. Two legends, one frame. The legendary Jethro Tull. Frontman Ian Anderson's famous one-legged flute stance was a complete accident. He was trying to balance himself against a mic stand during a solo one night, and the quirky pose was born. It's stuck ever since. Freddie Mercury and Brian May in 1974, the year Killer Queen made them stars. They were on the cusp of conquering America, a journey that was almost derailed when Brian's sudden illness forced them to cancel their first headlining tour. The Professor, Neil Peart, in 1977. This was the tour for A Farewell to Kings, a victory lap after 2,112 saved their career. His sprawling kit was a percussion orchestra, a perfect match for the complex philosophical worlds he was creating. On stage during the 1985 Fables of the Reconstruction tour, the band was exhausted after a gloomy recording session in England, but their live shows were electric, building the cult following that would soon make them America's biggest alternative band. AC/DC, early 80s. New decade, new singer. Brian Johnson stepped in, and Back in Black became one of the best-selling albums of all time. The band didn't just survive, they got bigger. Stadiums, worldwide, unstoppable. This short-lived Thin Lizzy lineup from '74 features the fiery Gary Moore on guitar. His powerful style convinced Phil Lynott that the band needed a fuller sound, leading directly to the signature twin lead guitar attack they became famous for. Stevie Ray in Double Trouble, years before the fame. While his guitar got the headlines, Stevie's secret weapon was his voice. He modeled his raw, powerful singing directly on the great bluesman Bobby Blue Bland, making him a true double threat. Bob Seger, 1977. After a decade of grinding it out, Live Bullet and Night Moves had finally made him a superstar. This isn't just a rock star on stage, it's a picture of pure, hard-earned victory for one of Detroit's finest. Bob Dylan with John Sebastian in Greenwich Village, 1965. This photo captures a last, quiet moment in the traditional folk scene. Just months later, Dylan would release Like a Rolling Stone, go electric at Newport, and burn all the old bridges. David Bowie, with his wife Angie and newborn son Zowie, 1971. This was a moment of quiet domesticity, just as he was inventing his alien rock god persona, Ziggy Stardust. A rare glimpse of the family man behind the superstar. Fleetwood Mac, 1977. The famous Rolling Stone cover. This wasn't just a photo shoot, it was the truth. Two broken couples, still making music together, still tangled up in each other. Rumors wasn't fiction, it was their lives set to music. Robert Plant and John Bonham at the 1976 premiere of their film, The Song Remains the Same. Bonham's gangster suit was a nod to his fantasy sequence in the movie. A rare public appearance during a difficult and uncertain time for the band. Jimi Hendrix with Eric Burdon of The Animals, whose bassist discovered him. On Jimmy's first night in London, he got on stage to jam with Cream and upstaged Eric Clapton so badly that a stunned Clapton simply put down his guitar and walked off. The Who in 1969. The year their rock opera Tommy changed everything. The album elevated them from a singles band to true artists. This photo from the album art captures their dark humor and the ambition that redefined rock and roll. Fresh off the triumph of her first solo album, Belladonna, this is Stevie Nicks in 1982. This iconic photo shoot for Rolling Stone cemented her image as the mysterious, ethereal, white witch of rock, a superstar in her own right. A portrait from their very first photo shoot in 1968, before they'd even played a major gig. This image captures four forces of nature, just as they were about to launch the decade-long reign that would forever define heavy rock.